Right, short date please, and learn objective. Pause the video, then we'll carry on with the lesson. Okay. Right, so hopefully that other video was helpful. I'll try and throw some other ones in there rather than you listening to me all the time droning on. First of all, let's just go back and remind ourselves what the intercepts are. Okay, so the intercepts, the y-intercept, if you go along the y-axis, so let's look at the green line here. On the y-axis, it's where a line crosses the y-axis. Okay, so it's where the line crosses the y-axis is the y-intercept. Okay, and this then would be the x-intercept. Okay, so the y-intercept for you, y-intercept is 4. Okay, is 4, and the y-intercept and the x-intercept here is 2, isn't it? X is 2 on the intercept. Okay, and then the full coordinate of this would obviously be, remember you go across the corridor and up the stairs, so it would be the full coordinate here would be 0, 4. That's where the y coordinate is, 0, 4, and the y-intercept and the x-intercept is here. Okay, so that would be across 2, and it's 0 then on the y-axis, isn't it? Okay. So that's just what, and they're really useful because if you know, let's just have a look at this other one first. So here, the y-intercept, where is it intercepting the y? -3. So the y-intercept here is -3, and then the x-intercept here is here, in this case, where it's cutting across the x-axis. Why it's really useful, because if you can work out the intercepts of an equation, so say for example the intercepts of equation was minus 2.5 and minus 3. So that's they're the coordinates of the intercepts. Okay, the coordinates of the intercepts of a line. Once I know those, I can actually draw the line in no problem, can't I? Because I only need 2 points. So I'd go across the corridor to, so the x-intercept would be first, so this would be then we go -3, and from there, okay, I can of course draw my line. Okay, I can draw my line going across, and I've got my line. I've done my the line for the equation. So when you know those intercepts, actually it does allow you to draw your graph. Right. Okay. Before we go on to finding y-intercepts and x-intercepts, I just want to sort of see if we know how to go from this. I know that one of the questions you may end up with when you're doing the equations, -y is equal to 5, at least you should. Okay. Now, I just want us to go over how we turn this, because we don't want a negative y. We need this to be a positive y. Okay. So all we have to do, using the balance method that we've learned some time ago now, but we do the same to both sides. So if I times -y, if I times that by -1, okay, so I'm going to times this side by -1 because it's the balance method. I would also times this side by -1. So we know a minus times a minus gives me a plus. So we've got -y times -1 will just give me y, won't it? Okay, because it becomes a minus times a minus is a positive number. Okay, and then on the other side we've got 5 times -1, which will give me -5. So what we're getting here is y is equal to -5. Okay, so if you want to know where to put the intercept on the y-axis, it would be -5, not 5 on that one. Okay, so just be aware of that. Just times both sides by -1. Okay, right. Let's have a look at, I'm going to go through, this is the worked example as well. Okay, so it does allow you to go through and have another look yourself. Okay, or you can even have a look at it while we're going through the video. So say for example I've got 2y, and that plus 3x equals 8. Now I want to find the y-intercept, okay? I want to find the y-intercept. So what ultimately what I need to be doing is to have the coordinates for x. When x is equal to 0, I need to find the coordinates of y. Okay, it's just like the boxes we did last time. And then when y is equal to 0, I need to find the coordinates of y, because if we think about it, okay, when we looked at these ones, okay, remember the coordinates here, okay, this would be 0, 4. So we're finding the intercept when x is 0, isn't it? When along the x-axis it's 0. And the same with this one. The axis here is this one is across the corridor. Sorry, when we're on the x-intercept here, that would be 2, 0. So we're finding x when y is 0. X when y is 0. Okay. So what we need to do, first of all, in order to find what y is when x is 0, we're going to substitute x equals nothing. Okay, x equals nothing. Okay, this actually makes it easy then, because 3 times nothing is nothing. Okay, so when we're doing that, actually we're just crossing that one off, aren't we? Okay, so now we're left with 2y equals 8. Okay, and again, then we're simplifying it. Sorry, we're using the balance method, divide them both by 2, because we won't be left with y, isn't it? Okay. Remembering the balance method, so if we want to get rid of this 2, we divide by 2, we have to do the same on the other side. So y is equal to 4. Okay, y is equal to 4. I think what people tend to do then is on your page you do the y and then you do the x over this side. I haven't got enough space here. Okay, so do them side by side. It sort of makes it a bit easy to see. Right, so again we've got the same equation. 2y plus 3x equals 8. This time we need to know, if we come down here, what y is. We know if y is 0, what will x be? If y is 0, what will x be? So we're going to do y equals 0. 2 times 0 is 0, so we've just got rid of that, haven't we? Okay, so we're left with 3x is equal to 8. We can see it's a positive 3x is equal to 8. I want to be left with just x on this side of the equation. So I'm going to divide that by 3, divide that by 3. How many 3's are in 8? So we're going to be having sort of fractions and decimals for some of our answers, and that's absolutely fine. How many 3's are in 2? Remainder 2, so it's 2 2/3. If you want to write them as decimals, you can. If you want to write them as fractions, you can. It's up to you. So x equals 2 2/3. Okay, now all we have to do, okay, so now we've got this information here, we just need to put that into our graph. Okay, so there's our, I don't know how to fit it all in there. Okay, so there's our information. So along the x-axis, so the coordinates here will be 0. So 0, so that means it'll be up here on the 4. Okay, actually it's very similar to that other line, isn't it? Okay, so this there's the 4 here, and then across, when y is equal to 0, x-axis is 2 2/3. So 2 2/3 is around about there. So again, we would join them up. Okay, if we just ignore the other bits on here, please. Okay, so that would be our line, and we can just extend that out. We don't have to keep it short like that. We'd extend it on. Okay, and then we must remember to label it. Okay, so this line here is going to be 2y plus 3x equals 8. So that's that line there. Okay. Right. Let's do another one, a trickier one than that. Okay. So again, we've got let's have a look at which. So we go 2x minus 4y plus 5 equals 20. So we can find out that that line. So again, the same rules apply in that. First thing we need to do, what we need to try and do is down here, x, we'll do a box, naught, and then we need to find the y naught. Okay, yeah. So let's find the, very often you find the y-intercept first anyway, so where x is naught. So x equals naught, so at this point we know 2 times, that's got rid of, isn't it? 2 times naught is naught. So now we're going to use our balance method to do this, aren't we? So we're going to do minus 5 there, minus 5 on the other side, okay, to use our balance method. That leaves us, that gives rid of that, so it becomes 4 minus 4y. Remember, this minus sign goes with the 4. Minus 4y is equal to 15. Okay, minus 4y is equal to 15. Then we need to divide that. I want this to become a positive y, so I'm going to divide it by minus 4. I know it's been a little while since we've done these. Okay, so divide it by minus 4, which will leave me with y. So I'm also going to divide this by minus 4. Okay, so how many 4s in minus, how many 4s? I know the positive divided by a negative is going to give me a negative number. So that would then be how many 4s in 15? 3 and 3/4. Okay, so where x is 0, the y-intercept will be 3 and 3/4, and that's the y-intercept there. Okay, because we have to find the x-intercept as well, we're going to okay, so we've got 2x minus 4y. Again, we want to find if y is 0, so this would be times 0, so let's just go rid of that, isn't it? Okay, and it's actually with that, it's got rid of the negative number. Okay, so now we've got 2x plus 5, we're going to end up with 2x here equals 15. Okay, divide that by positive 2 this time, isn't it? Okay, divide by a positive 2, so we get 7.5. So so on our x-intercept would be 7.5. So again, when we would come to do that on our this is our data. When we come to do that on there, we would go across on our x-axis. 7.5. I can't fit it on here. 3 and 3/4. So it's another one quite close to what we've been, isn't it? Okay. So we would plot those into our graph, and that would be enough. Okay. And then we can draw the line. Okay. Could you please have a go at? Question 5. Could you ever go to question 5 on page 226, please? Question 5, page 226. Okay, pause the video while you do that. Press play when you're done, please. Press play when you're done. Right, let's have a quick look at it. Okay, let's have a quick look at the equation. So hopefully you've been okay with this. Okay, so we've got the 3y minus 8x equals 12. Okay, so again we're going to get to find the y. Okay, we're going to first of all we're going to x equals 0, aren't we? X equals 0, so that means we go 3y equals 12. Divide both by 3, y is equal to 4. Okay, so hopefully you go y is equal to 4. Then let's have a look at the other one. When you want to find with the x-intercept, again, you're timesing that by naught. Now you're left with minus 8x equals 12, aren't you? Okay, so you have to divide that by minus 8 to give you a positive x. Okay, also divide that by minus 8. Minus 8, so yeah, so you get with a minus number to finish. How many 8s in 12? 1.5. So there are your coordinates. Okay, and you would write that again. The first one, how you would write that, okay, is the naught 4, isn't it, on your first 1 for C, okay, and then you've got minus 1.5, because that's on the x-axis, 0, okay. And then when you draw your graph, I just hope once you've got the coordinates in place, the graph is easy, isn't it? Okay. Right, hopefully that was okay. Now I'm going to very, very quickly go through some of this on question 7 that we'll be doing today. There's lots of questions on just finding the y-intercept, okay, on the y-intercept. So for example, and you can do this really quickly, y equals minus 2x plus 1, okay. Now if you're finding the y-intercept, it's really easy because you times in x by 0 each time. X equals 0 each time, so it's 2 times 0. So whatever the value of x is disappears quickly. So this becomes y equals 1. Okay. So yeah, it's you know, you can do this really quite quickly. Okay. Right. So for our work today, can we do on pages? They're all pages 226, 227. We haven't done anything yet that'll actually get us onto the extension, because we'll move on to those when it comes to gradient. Okay, so could you please do question 6, we've done 5 already, question 7, question 8, and then the extension questions, and please do those if you've got time, please, okay, because they're definitely more challenging. Question 9, question 10, and question 12, okay. It can be a bit confusing, first of all, these, okay, they can be confusing. Don't be afraid to go back and have a look, especially if if you're struggling a little bit, go back, have another go at the question 5, and sort of try and work your way through it, look through the worked example. All right, good luck with that, everyone. Bye.